if you're listening on audio, I highly recommend to go watch this cold open. We're not going to say anything, but it's a good day.
That's right. It's a Targeting Thursday here. Welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show. Of course, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading that Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. That's right. You heard me. It's a Targeting Thursday today. It was targeting. It was targeting.
I know, but why? I wasn't even thinking about that.
It was targeting. I'm Anthony Totri. This guy right here, that's Senor Rubis, also known as different nickname. Phoenix.
No.
Around these parts.
No.
Captain Redbeard, he's behind the Mac. He is making all of the magic happen. Sharon in the chat. I'm not going to read the comment because I don't want to spoil it for everybody listening on audio. If you're listening on audio, you got to go watch the start of this show on the YouTube channel.
I might message in the Discord for that.
It was
Everybody needs to go watch
stuff. It was
the
rare.
Cold open.
It was rare. Hit that like button.
It made me so happy, and then you made me so angry.
Why'd I make you angry?
Because you brought up the target.
You can handle the truth.
I can handle it. I just don't want to anymore.
It was the truth. It was the truth. It's what it was. And we're going to get into a lot of truths today on the PHNX Sun Devils show because we're bringing back an old friend. That's right, the tier list maker. That's what we're doing. The 2024 season has settled in the Big 12. We are going to rank the entire 16 teams in the conference from S tier all the way down to yikes, Erik. All the way down to yikes.
That's my favorite tier.
And then we'll get into maybe some more CFP discussion because we've got two more games. You got Notre Dame going up against Penn State, Ohio State going up against Texas. So the college football world is certainly still in full swing. A lot of folks really, really interested to see who comes out on top in those two games. I think everybody thinks they know, including us, but we'll find out.
I thought I knew what was going to happen before, too.
What did you think was going to happen?
I did not think Ohio State was going to beat Tennessee.
You mean Oregon?
And then I didn't think they would beat Oregon either.
You didn't think they'd beat Tennessee?
No, I thought Tennessee was going to win in a close game.
Wow. You were wrong.
We all said that was going to be the best game in the first round.
We said it had the potential to be.
You're such a revisionist history, dude.
No, go look. I never said it was going to be the best game. I always prefaced it with it has the potential to be. And it wasn't.
Every game has the potential.
No, it doesn't. Not every game has the potential to be. Penn State, Boise State never had the potential to be a good game. Everybody knew Penn State was going to go in there and smack around the Broncos, and that's exactly what happened.
You're literally triggering my PTSD right now. I'm putting myself back in that headspace before the game.
What headspace?
The headspace of, wow, we're about to play in the college football playoff quarterfinals.
They did.
And then you brought me back to targeting.
It's a Thursday.
Honestly, this is just all your fault.
Well, would you rather have a Targeting Thursday or a Targeting Tuesday, Erik?
Neither. Well, where's the neither option?
Guess what? It was targeting, so we have to have one day. We can't be like the refs and say, we can't have a target.
Every Tuesday and Thursday is going to be targeting Tuesday and Thursday?
Until the start of next season.
Dude, no.
It is going to be a Targeting Thursday.
If you put me back in that headspace every week until next season.
It's a Texas Targeting Thursday here on the PHNX Sun Devils show. That's what we're going with. Get you riled up today. Start this Targeting Thursday. That's what we're doing.
I'm about to target you.
Whoa.
Helmet to helmet.
Well,
boom.
Will you blow the whistle, throw the flag on that one, please?
What's up, Daniel? What's up, Sharon?
Oh, goodness. Do we want to kick things off here? Big 12 tier list? Or actually just how's your life going?
Great. Or at least it was.
Yeah.
Until you
I didn't do nothing.
Ruined
I
my
didn't lower
day.
my head and hit a defenseless receiver
this is
across
where I
the
come
middle
as
on
an
fourth down.
for an escape to
third
Suns
down.
basketball. Like, I come here to escape having the
fault your
highest
basketball
payroll.
team sucks.
It kind of is.
No, it's not.
Everything in my life can be traced back to you. Right?
Good, then that goes for everything good, too.
No, just the bad.
Nope, everything good.
Just the bad.
Nope. Doesn't work like
You
that.
take all responsibility
You
for
have
the
it
bad
all, or
things.
you have nothing, Rubis.
You don't get to decide that.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do.
You want to tier some Big 12 teams?
I asked you that. Yes.
Yeah,
Let's go ahead. Let's get into the
we gotta
tier
scoot
list.
closer. Come here.
No,
we
you
gotta
come to me.
we gotta scoot closer.
Come here. Come on.
I hate you.
I love it. First off, shout out Captain Redbeard for getting the window to look like this. You guys will never know, but it took Captain Redbeard
You need to move
a significant amount of time. I don't need to move.
Yeah,
I'm
you do.
good here. Captain, am I good here?
Move a little bit.
Yeah, dude. Come on.
Better?
A little bit more.
Oh,
I will
my
push
gosh.
you.
You will do no such thing.
All right, this is good.
Unhand me.
This is good. This is definitely audio listeners. Make sure before you close the app, you rate PHNX Sun Devils 5 stars.
Mm.
You leave a comment about
Do it.
what you thought we looked like before you came and looked at this video. And
I
then-
never even thought of that.
Right?
If somebody like listened to us on audio,
and they have no idea what we look like. If you seriously, if you listen to this show and you don't know what we look like, I would just recommend just watching this specific episode.
why?
Because of the cold open,
Hmm.
and then we're gonna be tiering, so it's good to have a visual element
Yeah.
with it all, and just mute your phone afterwards and keep the episode playing on your phone on podcasts, and then go on YouTube on your computer and watch the video.
Okay.
That's the recipe today.
You're doing a lot there. Let's go ahead.
What's new?
Yeah, that's fair. You want to kick things off with just who belongs at the top? I feel like it's
Arizona
pretty
State
easy.
University is the
Big
number
12
one in S tier.
champs. Big 12 champs.
But
you
why?
are alone. You're alone in your S tier, right? This is, again, we're not
Alone
looking,
in the S
We're
tier.
not looking to 2025. This is the end of the season, right? And it's not standings, okay?
It's power rankings. They're different.
It's tier list, not even really power rankings, to be honest with you, okay? Arizona State is the champ. They are the champion of the world.
Say it again.
They're the champion of the Big 12.
That's right.
They earned it.
Dominated.
They earned a spot by themselves in the S tier. They deserved it. They've earned it. Sam Leavitt, Cam Skattebo, Jordan Tyson, Kenny Dillingham, everybody. When the confetti rained down in Dallas, they were the last team standing.
Remember Dallas?
I do.
This
Dallas
is just gonna. This
currently
entire
snowing.
episode is gonna be us being like, "Hey, remember this thing in the ASU season that was awesome?" We should just do one episode in like the middle of July where we just sit back and be like, "Hey, you remember this random play? Remember this random moment?
I remember all things.
Do you?"
No. Hans Gruber, what a name. We got Hans Gruber in the chat. Devinol in the chat.
Devinol
Throwing
booing
tomatoes. I love it. And that's understandable. Devinol is an Iowa State fan, so I get it. I 100% get it. But the champion, the S tier, is reserved for the champion. You can't have other teams in the S tier. That's not how that works. When you win a conference, you are the last team standing. And Arizona State just so happened to be the last team standing. Do you want to get to Iowa State next, or how do you feel about Arizona State in the S tier?
How do I feel about Arizona State in the S tier?
In the S tier, the
How
Sun
do you
Devil
think?
tier.
How do you think I feel?
In the Sun Devil tier.
There you go. I mean,
On a targeting Thursday.
what am I going to disagree?
No,
No, actually, I think they're A. What?
they're the team to beat.
They're the team.
To
Period.
Beat. They're the team to beat for the foreseeable future in this conference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially because, like BC said, Arizona State dominated.
Yeah.
But, it doesn't matter because that wasn't the real Big 12 championship. That wasn't the People's Big 12 championship. Maybe we should go to the People's Big 12 champion, the BYU Cougars.
You want to do the Cougs next?
Yeah. Of course, the team that was so good and should be crowned Big 12 champions despite not even qualifying to play the Big 12 championship.
BYU had a really, really rough end of the year.
They did.
This is a team that was at one point number 6 in the country, which is crazy to think when you look back at what they have kind of become. Let's see if I can go ahead and pull this up here in a second.
Well, remember, you as Arizona State fans needed the number 6 team in the country to lose twice
And they did.
in the end of the season to make the Big 12 championship. And
Yeah.
they absolutely did.
I mean, credit to BYU. They finished the year with a 7-2 conference record. Obviously, there was a 4-way tie at the end of the year between ASU, BYU, Iowa State, and Colorado. And BYU also finished with an 11-2 regular season record. But down the stretch, this is a BYU team that lost 2 games that you couldn't lose if you were the Cougars. You lost to Kansas 17-13. You lost to Arizona State 28-23. And then
You beat
played,
Houston,
which
and
is
then
the
you
game
beat
that
Colorado.
you needed a little help. And yeah, you beat Colorado at the end, but I'm talking again like.
So are we not including bowl games?
Yeah, we can include bowl games.
I think we should include every game that's been played.
That's fine. I think BYU is in the A tier.
I agree.
I think this is a really good team. I love Kalani Sitake as their head coach. I think BYU is going to be a program that is, similar to Arizona State, up in the upper echelon, the top shelf of this conference, again, for the foreseeable future, as long as Sitake is still that head coach. I love the culture. The fan base can be a little irritating at times, but I'm totally comfortable putting BYU in the A tier.
Oh yeah, I don't like them. I don't like their fans and how they've acted, but there's no denying that they had a great season. You want to read that comment in there?
Yeah, McKay saying that you walked past me before the BYU game. Couldn't tell if it was actually me, so we just passed each other. But let me know next time, man. Next time you're at an ASU game, hit me up, slide in the DMs, whatever. We'll definitely link up for a little bit before the game.
Yeah, if you ever see somebody that maybe looks like us, just track them down anyway. Just say hi. Well, it's worth a shot.
I don't know.
The worst that you could get is no, I'm sorry, I don't host an ASU podcast. Right?
Is that the worst you could get?
That's the worst.
I don't think that's the worst.
There's nothing bad can happen.
I feel like there's liability.
But if you think you see us, say hi.
Yeah, say what's up.
Like, just say hi. Do you want to do Iowa State next, or do you want to go to the bottom and figure out some of these bottom feeders?
Kyle gets to pick a team. Where does Kyle want to go?
I love that.
Let's see here. Next, let's do Kansas.
Ooh.
They're on the minds of ASU fans.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good team. They're not in the yikes category. I believe Jalen Daniels is coming back.
They saved their season at the end.
They were
on track. I'm not saying that they were great, but they were on track to clearly be yikes.
They were, but they finished 5-7 in conference.
Right, but what I'm saying is like there was a time there was a conversation before the season about teams like Kansas and like Arizona who were dark horses to win the whole damn conference.
Yeah.
And Kansas just got in their own way and dug a hole so deep that even though they had, an okay end of the season, some pretty good wins, it didn't even matter.
Yeah.
Right. So
they had some phenomenal wins, by the way. They beat Iowa State 45-36. They beat BYU 17-13.
But none of that. The thing is, none of that ended up mattering, right?
No, but in terms of like a tier list of where they are at the end of this season, I think Kansas is either at the very top of the C tier or in the B tier. I'm gonna be honest. I think this is a B tier team.
It's so hard because we have to take into account. I guess it's power rankings or tiering.
It's looking at the season as a whole.
But that's the thing. And if you look at the season as a whole, but
it's not how you start. It's how you finish, Rubis.
No, it's not. It's literally not. You just contradicted yourself.
No, I said it's about the entire season.
You said it's about the entire season.
You're right.
And then you said it's about how you finish and not how you start.
Well, they finished, right? They're on the up and up. Are they on the
itself.
up and up? Are they on the up and up?
Yeah, but you can't. But this is a team that. Again, this is a team that we were talking about should be competing to win the Big 12.
Yeah, and they didn't.
They ended up 10th.
Yeah, so they're not. We're not talking about this team in the A tier or the S tier.
I don't think you could go B tier.
I think you could go B tier.
I don't know, man.
What do you think?
I think top of C tier.
What do you think, chat?
I appreciate them helping us out.
Okay, this is what we'll do. We will put Kansas in the C tier
for now, and we can revisit.
And we will adjust. Based off of what we have for the rest of the tier list. I think Kansas is B tier, but that's just me. Rubis gets his way. Where do you want to go?
As I should.
No, you shouldn't.
I should always get my way.
No, you shouldn't. Texas Tech beat ASU and is currently dominating in transfer portals. I love when people bring up the argument that Tech beat Arizona State. This happened, 5 months ago? You beat them almost half a year ago. This team was the hottest team in college football, one of them at the end of the year. If
Tech and ASU played in the Big 12 championship,
Arizona State would beat the brakes off them.
Credit to you guys. Good environment. You guys played
Sam
well.
Leavitt's first start on the road in conference.
And you saw the difference. If we could throw the graphic up for the 8 trillionth time comparing Sam Leavitt's beginning to end of season. We're not going to do that. But you guys caught Sam Leavitt in his true first road game before he really shifted in and got super comfortable.
Yeah.
And so credit to you. You won. You beat us, and you could say that. But there's no world where you should be in the A tier.
No.
I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
Do you want to talk Texas Tech?
Yeah, we could talk Tech since
Well,
there's a Tech
too
fan in
bad.
the chat. What are you talking about?
We could talk about Tech,
No, dude.
but we can only talk about Tech.
You're such a...
What?
Nope.
What?
No, I don't want to
What?
talk
Hell
to you.
yeah, let's just not do it, huh?
No, I don't wanna talk
Let's
to
just
you.
not do it.
No.
Yeah, let's just not do it.
Go.
That's
Go.
your choice?
Do your thing.
Let's take a quick break. One thing that would make this tier list just a little bit better would be some neutrals. Because neutrals are delicious. They make you feel real good.
They do.
And not only do you feel real good, you're literally consuming something that is real. Real ingredients, real juice, real seltzer, real vodka, no artificial taste and flavor that makes you go, okay, yeah, that's like, it's sweet, but something, ungodly is happening here.
Whoa.
Not natural, not with neutral. With neutral, it tastes real good. You love the cran apple. I love the strawberry lemonade, but I would happily take a cran apple if I could because all of the flavors are delicious. Orange, I was sipping on some of those during the Texas game. Black cherry, watermelon, pineapple. Nothing goes better with college football, college basketball, college sports, or a college sports podcast than neutral. Keep it tasty. Enjoy responsibly. 2024 Anheuser-Busch Neutral is a flavored vodka and carbonation out of St. Louis, Missouri.
If you were watching the post-game show last night and you just happen to be tuning in today as well, you're probably looking at the screen and you're telling yourself, man, Erik Ruby looks so dang handsome today as opposed to what he looked like last night. Well, I will tell you what, a large part of it has to do with what is on Erik Ruby's head.
What's
and that
the
is,
other
of
part,
course, I don't know, to be honest with you, but it's a branded Bills cap, whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitted beanies or tees. Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style. They are super, super comfy and they are super, super affordable as well. They've got partnerships, of course, with Arizona State, and they, of course, do some charity work with the University of Arizona as well as a part of their campus collections. Make sure you head to brandedbills.com and use that code PHNX for 20% off your first order. Boom. Glenn in the chat saying, I finally stepped out of the house today since the Peach Bowl, so I guess I'll tune into this. It was still a targeting. Yes, yeah. Glenn, it was. Today's Targeting Thursday. It's Targeting Thursday. Somebody in the chat said, was it Tom that said, keep kidding yourself that you're the team to beat?
Yeah.
Along with that, the cow did jump over the moon, take it to the bank. I don't know if you missed the end of the year, but the Sun Devils won the conference, and they looked like the better team against Texas in the second half in the college football playoff. So I don't know how we're kidding ourselves.
At this point, it's just got to be a troll.
And you're returning like the whole defense.
Just got to be a troll.
And your quarterback and your number one wide receiver, and you added a 1,000-yard rusher in the portal. I feel like ASU fans should feel pretty good. That's what I feel like. No,
I honestly, we suck.
No.
Yeah, we're
I'm not
really
even letting
bad.
you get away with that.
We're really bad
we're
at
not.
football.
We're like literally.
But no, Totri, you don't understand. We only won 3 games the season before this past season, right? We had sanctions on us for our previous coach. There's no way that we're going to be good at football anytime soon.
Yeah, we're good.
By the way, Arizona State in the S tier for winning the Big 12.
Yes,
Whoops,
by the way.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
Where do you want to go next?
I like Redbeard deciding. I actually enjoy that dynamic. I think he should just keep leading the way.
I will continue leading the way. Next, we're going to let's go UCF.
B.
UCF's interesting. They got themselves a new head coach now. Malzahn left.
Low
RJ
B.
Harvey's gone. I don't think KJ Jefferson is there anymore. Not that he was good. That's a tough one. They might be in.
Actually, I don't know. They're definitely not B.
Who's the new coach?
They ended up 4-8. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
they ended the season so bad.
They did.
So bad.
And they started it off pretty good.
I actually didn't even realize how bad they were.
Let's see.
Because, we played them later in the season. And
gosh, I forgot it. Scott Frost.
Yeah, they have Scott Frost. They might be yikes.
They might be yikes.
They might be yikes. We all thought UCF would be decent this year. I don't think anybody picked UCF to win the whole conference. but they ended up being third to last. Like the only two teams lower than them in the Big 12 standings.
Such a good running back. RJ
was
Harvey was so
Arizona
good.
and Oklahoma State.
Kansas is certainly better than UCF.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if it's power rankings.
So are you putting UCF in yikes?
I think UCF is definitely in yikes.
Yeah, Herschel Frost is back. He's back at UCF. Oh goodness, could be fun. Could be yikes. Okay, you want to put him in the yikes category?
I think I definitely think.
I guess
yikes.
your quarterback left because he was buns. Your number one offensive player is in the draft, and your head coach left, and you got a new one.
Okay, best case, because Sharon says C. Best case, the end of C. But this is a team that ended third to last in conference. They ended below Utah, right? And Utah was bad this year.
Utah was bad this year.
I guess we also have to go based off of like preseason expectations.
I mean, not really. It's just a season as a whole.
But I think that plays into it.
But what were UCF's expectations?
To be middle of the pack, and they ended up being third to last. But then it's not as bad as Arizona, Oklahoma State, and Utah, who were picked to be in the top 5 of the conference, who ended up all around UCF.
But you also got to feel like this ranking, this tier system, right, is like, okay, the end of the season, how are we feeling, right?
Yeah, I get that. I'm not feeling good about any of the teams I just named, right? Oklahoma State.
I don't think their fan bases are
went
feeling
0
too
of
hot
9 in conference. All those teams, Utah, UCF, Arizona, Oklahoma State, finished below Houston in the Big 12 this year. Houston.
You want to do Houston next?
No, it's whatever Redbeard decides.
You sticking with yikes?
Yeah, I'm sticking
for
with
now.
yikes for now.
We're giving ourselves permission to jump around if we need to.
I've got a lob, an easy one. Oklahoma State.
Yikes. Dude.
No, I'm just...
I'm thinking a light B.
I'm allowed to think. No, I feel like my rankings have been better than yours thus far.
What have we disagreed on?
Kansas and B. Oklahoma State is probably yikes. You're losing Ollie Gordon. I don't think Alan Bowman's playing anymore. Not that it would matter. Mike Gundy looks washed as a coach.
You returned the oldest offensive line in college football and played one of the worst offensive lines in college football.
Didn't win a single conference game.
You were supposed to be good.
Are they below UCF in yikes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They had higher expectations. They ended up literally bottom of the conference. They had less wins overall than anybody else in the conference, and they had 0 of those wins in the Big 12.
When was the last win? When was Oklahoma State's last win of the season?
I think it was the first 3 weeks. They were 3-0.
What date though? What's the date?
They were They went 3-0, and then they lost to Tulsa on September 14th.
No, they beat Tulsa.
Sorry, they beat Tulsa on September 14th.
Oklahoma State didn't win a game in October or November. That is
they literally
bad.
lost. They played non-con, and then they lost out in conference. Utah, Kansas State, West Virginia, BYU, Baylor, Arizona State, TCU, Texas Tech, Colorado. That's a tough schedule.
It is a tough schedule.
I mean, you have Utah early.
The end of that schedule is a
They
gauntlet.
played Utah close. And that's the sign that we look back on Utah and we go, You get dominated by Kansas State, dominated by West Virginia. Close game against BYU.
Yeah, that was a game that they lost, though, in the last 14 seconds.
Yep. And then close-ish game, 10-point game against Baylor. Get routed by us in a weird game. Routed by TCU. Put up 48 against Tech.
Yeah, but every other team put up 40 against Tech.
Yeah. And then get 52-0 skunked by Colorado.
Yeah, 52-0 skunked.
There's no way that you can
so
end.
Bad.
You can end a
so
season
bad.
With a 52-0 loss to put a winless conference record in the books and not be yikes.
Yeah.
They should be the lowest team on this entire tier, bar none.
Well, they're definitely getting a yikes. Okay, Captain Redbeard.
Let's do Cincinnati.
Cincy's another interesting one because I feel like they're like UCF, where at a certain point in the season, I was like, okay, this team isn't that bad. And then you go back and you look at their season in a nutshell, and you're like, this team was cheeks.
Well,
Cincinnati
they fell
was
off.
5-7 on the year.
They fell off after playing us.
Yeah, they lost their last 5 straight games.
Yeah, we were their last win of the season.
Yeah.
They were our second to last loss.
But their wins their wins this season outside of Arizona State weren't good. Like, they beat UCF by 6 on the road. They shut out Houston. They beat Miami of Ohio. They lost to Pitt, and they beat Towson. Like, every other team that they played, not named Arizona State, that was competent, they lost.
Yeah, they're bottom C tier.
They're bottom C tier.
Where would you put them? Like, they can't go yikes.
I'm just thinking.
They didn't. They about ended up where people expected them to be. I think we just have them in a higher regard because when we played them, they only had 2 losses and then they beat us.
You know, this might be a hot take, but I would say that they're yikes.
Oh, I don't know.
Because I feel like at the end of the year, we're going to get to it. At the end of these rankings, we're going to get to a team that was bad. And you're going to want to put them in yikes. But I'm going to say, I think we should put them in C tier because they played well at the end of the year. And Cincinnati didn't. They lost 5 in a row.
You're going to talk about, you're saying Houston.
I think Houston belongs higher.
I don't think Houston's in yikes.
I think Houston's belongs higher than.
I mean, they lost 3 straight at the end.
Who did? Houston?
Houston.
Yeah,
they lost to Arizona.
They
lost to Arizona in a blowout.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Then they lost to Baylor 20-10. Then they lost to BYU 30-18. But they beat Kansas State. They beat Utah. They beat TCU. I mean, they had a pretty bad season. We thought they were gonna have a worse season, but they had a pretty bad season.
Okay, where are we putting Cincinnati?
Cincinnati, I think, is C. I think it's so many
Bottom
C's in
of
the
C?
name. Bottom of C.
Okay.
Borderline yikes. But with so many C's in the name, Cincinnati, they belong in the C tier.
There's 2.
Sharon says, I disagree with so many of these. Sharon, give us your full where you would have, because right now Sharon says, I know you don't disagree with ASU and S. We have BYU in A, Kansas and Cincinnati in C, and UCF and Oklahoma State in yikes. Sharon, let us know where you disagree while Captain Redbeard directs this ship to where we go next.
Let's go to Houston. You're just talking about them.
Houston should be C tier.
This guy knows how to flow a show.
Top of yikes or C tier.
Houston.
This team down the stretch played better than
Cincinnati.
what they were expected.
They played better than Cincinnati.
They only lost to BYU by 12. They were in a tough game against Baylor. Baylor was a team that was trending up. The Arizona game is a one-off throwaway. Kansas State, they beat Kansas State. They beat a bad Utah team. They beat TCU at home. Like they almost beat Oklahoma
and
in week
not
2.
and not to mention that Arizona game was like literally Brent Brennan coaching for his job. Right?
Yeah, they
like,
remember how they treated that game after they won?
Oh, they were going nuts.
They treated it like they had won the Super Bowl.
It basically was their Super Bowl. Isn't that sad?
It is sad.
You know what else is sad? They stole my Branded Bills bit. That's sad.
It is sad.
The U of A guys, Damon and Kevin. I didn't even know this. I was informed
I told you.
by Anthony Totri.
Is Donovan Smith coming back next year? Probably not, right? He's a senior. Wow, he is not a good quarterback. So bad at football.
Yeah. They stole my charity bit.
Imagine being 6'5", 235 pounds, playing as a senior and throwing 4 touchdowns.
That was really mean.
He was horrible, dude.
That was really
literally
mean.
so bad.
What if he's watching right now?
Then get better at the sport. Because that is just bad. That is bad football.
So Sharon goes UCF over Cincinnati, UCF C, Kansas B, Cincinnati C, but behind UCF. Baylor high B. We haven't done Baylor yet. No spoilers.
Gosh.
I mean, Sharon says Kansas B.
I think Kansas is B.
Fine, we can move Kansas up to B.
How do you feel, Captain
Fine.
Redbeard?
I completely agree. They were like the most dangerous team at the end of the
nobody
year.
wanted to see Kansas.
Yeah,
they were almost like the
Count
Bengals in the
full
NFL.
Season.
They're almost like the
Ended 5
Bengals
and
at the end
7.
of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to see that team.
We'll give them B. I'll be okay with it simply because they helped us out so much.
Yeah. They screwed over a lot of teams.
Okay, Houston. I don't know if Houston can be yikes.
You don't put them in the C tier? Man, this is tough. Those Cincinnati, UCF, Oklahoma State, and Houston are all atrocious.
Okay, seriously, we're talking about Houston's 3-6 in conference, 4-8 overall. Cincinnati's also 3-6 in conference, but 5-7 overall. Right? Kansas is 5-7 overall. UCF is 4-8 overall, 2-7 in conference. Oklahoma State's 0-9 and then 3-9. Like,
part of this is how you're feeling to the future. How are you feeling if you're a Houston Cougar?
What are we tiering here? I'm 30
It's the
minutes
end
in
of the season. It's the
So
end of
then
the
why
season.
are we looking towards the future? That makes no sense.
No, would you shut up and listen for a
that
second?
That makes no sense.
It's the end of the year, right? You have a full season.
Yeah.
How did it play out? How are we feeling trajectory-wise based off of everything that we just saw? Are we feeling like absolute suckers in the mud right now, which some of these programs
So we're just talking about overall vibes. Overall vibes of the program at the moment.
Vibes in the season, yes.
Okay.
I feel like that was pretty clear.
Definitely
and not that hard.
Captain Redbeard was
I feel like that was not that hard.
Eric and I were on the same show.
It's clear in your head because everything that you say makes sense to you.
Everything makes sense to me.
Okay.
Well, it's your brain.
I guess
I hope
fair.
so.
Well, let's everybody chew on that
Where are you putting Houston?
for a little bit.
No, we got to put Houston before we go to break.
I'm going to put Houston at the end of C, but I'm open to moving down to yikes.
Okay, I can live with that.
Because it's like, just because you're better than what we thought you would be, which was almost winless on the season, doesn't necessarily mean that you deserve credit for it. But we can discuss more of that, and we can do it after this break. If I had time, I would get up and I would run to grab a bag of weed, because we have one over in Studio A that we've been using to show everybody the best deal that you could possibly get over at Colt Cannabis at True Leaf locations, because we have these things called Smalls bags, and Thursday through Sunday at all True Leaf locations you can get 14 grams of premium flower. Premium.
14 grams.
That's half an ounce of premium Colt cannabis flower. We're talking 35% THC. We are not talking about no dang bad weed here. Look at this. This entire thing is just full of weed, and you can get it for $80. $80 at True Leaf locations today.
Wow, that
Thursday,
is loud.
Thursday through Sunday. And you can do it, of course, with our friends over at Colt Cannabis. Go to trueleaf.com to find your local shop or place an order and tell them that PHNX sent you. Tell them Anthony Totri sent you.
Just tell them PHNX. I don't know if Anthony Totri is going to have the pull you think it's going to have when you head over
I say that
True
everywhere
Leaf.
I go.
Yeah. And, well, what do they say? What's their response?
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Guys, a bunch of you, whether you're new here or whether you've been here a while, probably stare at the screen often and you're like, why did these idiots wear sunglasses indoors? Well, if you had yourself a pair of Shady Rays, then you would do the exact same thing. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends over at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that aren't going to break the bank. Shady Rays, an independent sunglasses company, offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by guess how many people?
How many?
Over 300.
No way.
Over 300K.
Get out of here.
It's super easy. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays, giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
Yeah. Usually when I tell people, hey, Anthony Totri sent me, they say, get out of my living room.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. I want to put UCF above Houston.
Okay. Whatever.
Is everybody okay with that?
It's your show, dude.
No, it's our show,
No,
Eric.
dude. Just
either fight
whatever
with
you wanna
me
do.
about it.
Whatever you want to do, man.
Fight with me about it.
No, whatever you want to do.
Don't be a little baby.
No, please. Honestly,
Don't
man,
be a little baby,
honestly,
Eric.
dude, I just wanted to make sure that you're happy.
You're being a baby.
I want to make sure
You're being
happy.
a baby. You're being such a little baby.
I'm so looking forward to spending an entire day straight with
little
you.
baby boy, Eric.
You can put UCF above Houston. I'm fine with it. So you want to just swap them?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine with me.
You cool with that, Captain Redbeard? You're steering the ship, so.
Yeah, I think UCF is a more complete football team. I mean, we watched Houston when they played Kansas State.
Yeah.
And man, that quarterback, not good.
Not good at football.
Nope.
At all. You would be better. You'd be better. And you're not 6'5", 235 pounds.
Right. I'm 6'4", 228. That makes you like 6 foot.
Yay.
Where are we going next, Captain?
Next, we are going to Baylor.
Ooh, Waco. The Baylor Bears.
Such an interesting team this
I've never
season.
been more. Actually, I've definitely been more wrong.
Dude, they were 8-5, 6-3 in conference. They ended
They
up
were not bad.
top 5.
Not bad.
They were the 5th team in this conference. They were right below Colorado.
Only losses this season, by the way, were to Utah, Colorado, BYU, Iowa State, and LSU.
Dave Aranda said, hot seat who?
Yeah. Dave Aranda looked at our preseason conversations and said these guys are crazy because I
Was
said
it-
Aranda was getting fired.
Yeah,
before
that was your
conference
bold
play
take.
started.
That was your bold take. Was Aranda
He
gets
indeed
fired.
did not get fired. He had a great season.
They have to be.
They're B tier.
Low key, based off expectations, I was thinking low A, high B, but I'm okay high B. I don't think they're not Colorado, Iowa State, BYU, and that's probably going to be your A tier. Not to step on it.
I think
And
one of
they're
those
not as good
teams-
as those teams. So B for Baylor,
B for Baylor.
ahead of Kansas, clearly, probably top. Actually, unequivocally top of B.
I'll give him top of B.
Like top
cool
of
with
B, borderline A.
I'm cool with that. I'm absolutely cool with that.
8-5 on the season.
No, they had a hell of a season, man.
6-3.
The
in
Baylor
conference.
Bears had one hell of a year. Every time I go to pull up stats, it goes straight to Houston and Donovan Smith. Sawyer Robertson was their quarterback.
What a name!
28 tutties, 8 INTs, threw for over 3,000 yards.
Sawyer Robertson.
And he's
is
from Lubbock.
A fantastic
And he's from
name.
Lubbock, Texas. Oh, if I was
So,
a Tech fan,
Where
I
else
would
would
be sick.
Where else would Sawyer Robertson be from than Lubbock, Texas?
The mean streets of Chicago.
I can't wait for him to be in college football for 8 years. Then
Did
be
he
like,
stay there? Is he
be
staying
Sawyer,
at Baylor?
Sawyer the lawyer. In,
Is he?
in
Oh, he's a
Lubbock.
Mississippi State transfer
Oh, did he transfer from Mississippi State?
from Mississippi State. I want to know, is he staying at Baylor? I'm officially entered the transfer portal. Wait, what? Who is this? No, this is Sawyer Robertson. Baylor football. Looks like he's staying. I could be wrong, but it looks like he's staying put. Excited for next year. Yeah. Wow. Baylor might be good next
Breaking
year.
news.
might be
Breaking
good
news.
next year.
Baylor will be. I'll say this. Baylor will be somebody's dark horse pick to win the Big 12 next year. Like somebody in
I'm
the
so
media.
mad. What happened to DeQuan Finn? I loved that guy. Oh, he did nothing last year.
No.
Bet you he ran the ball a ton. Let's see. Nope. It's just mid. Tough. That's tough. That's tough. Shut up, Erik. Where do you want to go next?
That's up
All
to
right,
Redbeard.
let's go TCU. Stay in Texas.
That's
I
half the
feel
conference, Kyle.
I think
I know.
TCU is comfortably ahead of Kansas in B.
I disagree.
What do you, dude? They're 9-4 on this season. They
Was
were
TCU 9-4?
TCU was 9-4, 6-3 in conference. They ended at 3 wins, and yeah, they were against lower teams, but they're in Big 12 play.
Who did they beat?
In Big 12 play? They beat Kansas, they beat Utah, they beat Texas Tech,
SMU scored 66 points
and
on
they scored
TCU.
42 on them.
66. SMU
They
got
45-0'd Long Island, A tier.
Wow. They beat nobody. They put up 13 points against Utah. They beat Texas Tech by a point. They beat Oklahoma State. They beat a bad Arizona team, and they beat Sin City by a touchdown.
Dude, okay, I will say this is maybe the easiest Big 12 schedule I've seen.
They beat nobody. Absolutely nobody outside of Kansas. And they didn't even play Kansas when Kansas was figuring it out.
I still think they're behind Baylor. I just think they're ahead of Kansas. Kansas was 5-7. TCU's 9-4, dude.
Yeah.
You can't Kansas
Is
literally.
Cam Cook coming back next year?
Kansas dug themselves a hole so damn deep that how impressive an end of the season they had meant literally nothing. They didn't even
Without looking, how
What?
many yards did Cam Cook have on the season?
562.
460. He had 9 tutties, though, on the ground.
Dude, you were right about Cam Cook.
Cam Cook, dog. What was his best game? Let's see. If you didn't know, Cam Cook, I'm a big fan. His best game was Stanford, start the year, 20 carries, 81 yards.
I mean, beast. That's
One touchdown.
that's like a half a quarter for Cam Skattebo.
Literally. Wow. So you want to put TCU above Kansas?
Yes, below Baylor.
Below Baylor. What do you think, Captain? I want your thoughts.
They were 9-4, right?
Yep.
But probably one of the most fraudulent teams.
A
in the
pretty
Big
fraudulent
12.
9-4.
Yeah.
We could put them above Kansas.
Yeah.
They're still
better
9-4.
than Kansas.
They're still.
I agree, but would you say that if TCU and Kansas played Week 12 at the end of the year, who's winning that ball game?
Kansas.
Right, but we can't just talk about.
No,
that.
but I'm not. I'm
So
saying
it's fine.
that's part
It's
of the
close,
conversation.
but I think TCU's ahead.
That's part of the
Yeah,
conversation.
it's close, but TCU's ahead.
But I just want you to say that it's part of the conversation.
Yeah,
That's it. That's all I
whatever you want to be a part of the
shut
conversation.
up, Erik.
It's a part of the conversation. That's how conversations work.
I'm going to beat you with this microphone.
Do it.
No, I'd get in so much trouble.
it.
I'd get in a lot of trouble, Erik.
Do it.
No.
That's right.
No.
I knew he wouldn't
targeting
do it. So I said
Thursday.
do it.
The refs would blow the whistle.
No,
Okay.
they would let it go.
No, they wouldn't. They would do the thing that you're about to do.
No, we're not there yet.
Oh,
We got another team.
we got one more team.
You need to lock
Yeah.
in, dude.
Dude, shut up, Eric.
Next up, we're going to go with Kansas State.
Okay,
Man,
hear me out.
9-4,
B tier.
5-4 in conference. They are top of B tier.
Couldn't
They're better
win
than
down
Baylor.
the stretch.
They're better than Baylor.
They are. They're top of B tier.
I forgot about Kansas State, to be honest with you.
You forgot about them?
I forgot about them. Lost to Iowa State in the last week. I mean, Iowa State's good. You beat Cincinnati, blow them out. They lost to us, obviously, 24-14. They lost to Houston the week before that, beat Kansas, beat West Virginia, beat Colorado, beat Oklahoma State when they were still ranked, lost to BYU when BYU was not ranked yet, beat Arizona early in the season. Yeah, top of B.
Sharon's with me.
Top of B.
Top of B. They're not in Iowa State. They're not in Arizona State. They're
They're
not at
Colorado.
BYU.
They're not Colorado.
No, they're B tier. It's where they belong.
B tier's getting real hefty.
I think that'll probably be it in the B tier, though, to be honest with you.
There's one school.
There's one school that I'm going to say belongs in the C tier that is going to piss people off.
Is it West Virginia?
Nope. We'll get to it when we get to it, but I know it's going to really upset people.
There's another team that
Community
belongs
group
in B tier.
saying that it was targeting. Don't know if we've talked about it. It is targeting. 100% targeting. I will go to my grave. The final words that will be uttered from my apparatus that is my body will be 4th and 13 wouldn't have happened because it was targeting.
Yeah, I know it was.
It was targeting. Eric.
I know,
Eric.
I swear, if you show me the
No,
play,
no.
If you show me
Eric.
a picture,
Do you have your phone on you?
what do you want me to do? Hello?
It was targeting. It was targeting, Eric. I don't know if you know this. It was targeting.
All right, that's enough of this. I can't believe people watch
In
us.
case you didn't know, it was indeed targeting.
Can we
Where do you want to go next?
anywhere but there?
Texas. Should we rank Texas?
Texas Tech?
Sure, we could do Tech.
I think Tech is.
I think
D.
Tech is C tier. And I know it's going to piss people off. I think Tech is top of C. Top of C tier. What'd they do?
They beat Iowa State.
When?
The fourth to last game of the season.
Tech finished the year 8-5, 6-3 in conference. Losses to Arkansas, Washington State, Colorado, Baylor, and TCU. Best wins of the year came over Arizona State and Iowa State. Yeah.
I mean, those are good wins.
They scored so many points, dude.
They beat both teams that were in the Big 12 championship. They
And
ended
finished 8-5.
ended on a 2-game
And
win
finished
streak.
8-5. 8-5. They're a tough team.
You're gonna put an 8-5 team below a 5-7 team.
I think if Kansas played Texas Tech at the end of the year, I think Kansas would win.
Ah,
They let Oklahoma State score 48 points. Oklahoma State didn't beat a single team in this conference. They hadn't won since September.
Oklahoma State also put up 35 against BYU.
BYU is a bunch of frauds too. Nah, I don't mean that. Where do you want to put Tech? It gets more complicated if we put them in the B tier.
I don't know.
I'm cool. Honestly, I'm cool saying that they're in between Baylor and TCU.
In between Baylor and TCU, yeah, that's good.
You have any thoughts on them?
I thought you were gonna fight like for C, and I was
No,
like,
I'm not gonna fight for it. I don't care that much about them.
Okay,
Like,
no,
it
I'm
is
good
what
with
it
that.
is. That's it. That's where you don't got any more thoughts on Jalen Conyers, Taj Brooks.
I can't think of a single thought.
Not one.
No.
What about you, Captain Redbeard? You might as well co-host this show.
Yeah, I'm doing nothing. I'm
Yeah,
coasting.
they're a B tier team. They're better than TCU. They're better than Kansas. So I think you found the perfect spot. Might be better than Baylor, but
tough. It's close.
that's a close one.
We're both 8-5.
Baylor scored 59 points on them. And
Baylor beat them
by
by
24 points.
Late.
I'm going to take Baylor.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, let's not forget this is a team, by the way, that allowed Abilene Christian to score 51 at the start of the year.
Yeah.
Let's never forget that.
The Abilene Christian game. I remember us being at the Wyoming game being like, oh, man.
Tech might lose their season opener to Abilene Christian.
All right.
Now you're doing the thing?
I mean, duh.
Don't duh me.
I'm going to duh you. We'll be back after this break. Duh.
There are days, and I mean a lot of them, where I need to get away from the man next to me, where I need to get away from Erik Phoenix Ruby.
I'm going to punch you.
And you know how I do it? I do it with Sanderson Ford, because they've got every vehicle possible to try and escape your co-host at home. Trust me, PHNX is proud to have Sanderson Ford as our official vehicle partner. If you are in the market for a new vehicle, highly recommend you go check out the Sanderson Ford dealership. It's a 65-acre facility, making them the largest Ford dealership in the nation. Look, when you add up all the sales, including retail and fleet sales, they sell more Fords than anybody in the nation. You can get a new 2024 F-150 truck with 3.9 APR financing for 66 months, plus up to $4,000 cash back. Similar savings on over 900 new and pre-owned vehicles on the lot.
That was really mean. I need to get uplifted now. Good thing I can find these pure edibles in a can that tells me exactly how they're going to make me feel. Right? When I want to leave here and get away from you and I'm so stressed out, I use the Bliss ones.
Yeah.
Or when you make me really sad, I use the Uplift ones. Or when I can't sleep because of how mean Anthony Totri was to me off air, like he's literally screaming at me, I take the sleepy ones because I just can't get my mind off of the verbal torture that is being next to Anthony Totri for hours at a time. Thank you to our friends over at Pure Edibles, because not only do they have fantastic gummies with unique cannabinoids such as CBN, CBG, CBD, and of course marijuana-derived THC, they are created in Flagstaff. They are beautifully, beautifully made. They taste delicious, and they're at over 130 dispensaries in Arizona. Go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of over 130 dispensaries in Arizona.
Phoenix saying Phoenix.
Nope,
David saying Phoenix still sticking.
Can we just come up with another nickname now?
That one's from you. You came up with that one.
No, I did not.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't come up with it.
What was the birth of Phoenix?
I messed
When did
up
you
an
pull
ad
Phoenix
read.
out?
I messed up an ad read. I was supposed to say Phoenix.
Yeah.
And then y'all.
You pulled
decided.
Phoenix out of the ad copy.
That's
where
all right, who's next?
where it's
we
at.
have left on the board is Utah, Iowa State, Arizona, Colorado, West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Yeah, I was gonna say West Virginia.
Take me home, country roads.
They're C tier.
They're
a C tier team. Are they below UCF? Is the question. This is a 6 and 7 team.
6 and 7.
West Virginia, it was 6 and 7. UCF 4 and 8.
In the
5 and 4 in conference.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
You're just really mean to me. I just don't want to.
I mean, look, they had some good losses, right? And I know that doesn't mean a lot.
You sound like
at Boise State. Yeah,
Boise
they
State
lost
fans.
to Penn State. They lost to Pitt. They lost to a ranked Memphis team in the postseason at the time, and they lost to Iowa State, Kansas State, Baylor, and Tech.
A hot Baylor team.
That's a tough schedule.
And Tech is.
They had a tough schedule.
Wins over. I mean, they took care of the teams that were below them. Early season: Kansas, Oklahoma State, Arizona, Cincinnati, UCF. So
maybe top of C tier.
Top of C tier. Yeah, because they're under 500, and they didn't end the season as hot as Kansas. They were 1 and 2 in their last 3 weeks, and they beat much worse teams the weeks prior. Yeah, top of C.
Okay, so for those listening on audio, we'll do a quick recap here. So far, in the yikes tier at the very bottom, nobody's worse than these teams. You got Oklahoma State, followed by Houston. In the C tier, from bottom to top, you got UCF, Cincinnati, West Virginia. In the B tier, the crowded one, from bottom to top, you got Kansas, TCU, Texas Tech, Baylor, Kansas State. In the A tier, sitting all alone, you got BYU. And in the S tier, looking down at the rest of the conference, you have the Arizona State Sun Devils.
I mean, the way that it should be.
We got 4 schools left: Utah, Iowa State, Arizona, and Colorado.
Utah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
2-7 in conference, 5-7.
They were bad.
Overall.
But where bad? They
I
were
mean, they
in between.
ended the season with a win over UCF. Before that, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight losses.
In between Houston and Oklahoma State.
In between their 2 conference wins, which were Oklahoma State and Houston. And UCF, which is our end of C tier and our bottom of yikes team. They lost every other game in between, including losing to Houston, losing to TCU, only putting up a combined 21 points in that 2 games. Lost to BYU, blown out by Colorado, lost to Iowa State, lost to Arizona.
They got a quarterback now, though. I'm interested to see.
Okay, but that's not what we're talking about.
I'm just saying. Jeez. You get so defensive sometimes.
I think Utah is...
Everybody in the chat says bottom of
yikes.
C. I think they're in the yikes tier as well. They
I
were bad. They were awful. They were so bad.
They were the shoe-in to win the conference, the safe pick. And we're not talking about like what their outlook for the future is, like the very, very smallest part of
I don't even know if their outlook looks good, because you still have Whittingham, and Whittingham's awesome, but like, how long is he going to be there? I feel like that's going to start playing a role here. Like, same thing with Gundy. Like, how long are these coaches going to be in place at these schools?
And like, think about their wins. Southern Utah, Baylor in the first 2 weeks of the season when Baylor wasn't doing too hot, Utah State, Oklahoma State, right? Again,
Bad.
The worst team on this list, Oklahoma State. And then their next win came at the end of conference play against a UCF team that was devastated by injuries, whose head coach was about halfway out the door. Yeah, they're a good program. They had a bad year, but that's why it's yikes.
I'm with you. You don't got to argue with me.
I'm arguing with the chat.
I think 100%. You have them in between Houston and Oklahoma State. Like that's the only place on this list.
Yeah, they
you.
lost to Houston.
Yeah. But I would still argue that Houston is, yeah, that feels right to me, which feels weird to say it now in 2025, because like you said, they were the safe pick to win this conference.
Look at the top 2 teams and the bottom 2 teams. A lot of people thought that'd be swapped.
Yeah, a lot of people did. Yeah, I'm not putting Utah in the C tier. I'm just not doing it. 3 more schools.
All right. Iowa State.
They're above BYU.
Yeah, they're the second best team in the conference.
Yeah, I would 100% agree.
And
with
they ended up beating Miami, which was good for them as well to end the season.
Interested to see where and what happens with Matt Campbell, though. Matt Campbell,
new Chicago Bears,
interviewing with the Chicago Bears.
Do that again.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears. Sounds more like a baby than it does somebody
the
from
Bears.
Illinois.
The Bears. Uppies. The Bears.
I feel like that's accurate, right? The Cyclones, I think, are a really good team, really good program. Shout out our diehard Devinal, who's an Iowa State fan. Rocco Becht is that guy. I love the way this team plays.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't play well against Arizona State. So this will be a great game next season when Arizona State goes to Ames, Iowa.
Oh, I want to go to Ames, dude.
You said that yesterday.
And I'm going to say it every day.
We're going to go.
Manifest it.
We're going to Ames, Iowa. You got warm hands. We're going to Iowa. Okay, Captain
hands.
Redbeard. We're making it happen. We're going to Ames. Okay, 2 more.
All right. Colorado.
They're end of A tier.
They are also the end of A tier.
Fantastic season.
I agree. Did they finish better than they beat BYU? No.
No.
No, BYU
No, they
won.
lost.
So
Colorado
cool
ended the
with that.
season 9-4 overall. BYU ended up 11-2 overall. Of course, BYU beat the brakes off of Colorado in the bowl game. It was the People's Big 12 Championship. We all know this. Yeah, I think they're pretty clearly A tier.
Yeah, I would agree. And I don't think we can have any more teams in the A tier. I'm interested to see what they look
I
like.
guarantee you this next team ain't going to the A tier.
I'm interested to look at and see what this team looks like without Shedeur and Travis next year. Obviously, if Deion's back, which I guess at this point a lot of people do expect him back, but wouldn't be shocked if he took the Raiders job. I think that could be fun, especially with those teams holding high picks in the draft. We will see what happens there. The Kitties down south, the last team. Yikes. Top of yikes.
Yikes.
Where in yikes?
Top of yikes.
Top of yikes better than Houston?
I mean, this was a team that, they beat Houston at the end of the season. So, yeah. This is a team that we spent, unfortunately, so much of our life hearing between last 2 seasons ago and this last season, just how dominant they're going to be. How they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Big 12. And McKay says, make a new category below yikes and put U of A there.
I'm comfortable.
I'm very comfortable with them top of yikes.
They can't afford another bad year of Brent Brennan. They really can't. Antonio Pierce is up for
find
grabs.
a way. Yeah, they better find a way.
Antonio Pierce up for grabs. Just saying. You'd have to deal with. I was talking with Damon about this the other day. Imagine if U of A hired Antonio Pierce, right? And Antonio Pierce, the next school in college that hires Antonio Pierce, has to actually serve the penalties.
Yeah.
So imagine if U of A
Ended
had
up
to
serving
serve
the penalty.
penalties for what Antonio Pierce did at Arizona State.
They hired their DC, so.
Oh, goodness, that would be fun.
All right.
Well, their DC was already on their staff.
Yeah, but then who did
him.
they just hire for what, defensive line coach?
Yeah, the Miami D-line coach.
Yeah, I don't think Antonio Pierce is going to U of A. Even though that'd be really nice. All right, so
you
our
want to
final
recap
tier.
this?
Yeah, I could do it.
You got it.
At the very tippy top of the mountain, as they should be, your Arizona State Sun Devils sit alone in the S tier of these Big 12 tier list power rankings, whatever we're calling them.
Whatever this is.
Iowa State, top of the next tier, top of A, followed by BYU and Colorado. Kansas State, top of B tier, followed by Baylor, Texas Tech, TCU, and Kansas. C tier is led by West Virginia, then Cincinnati.
West Virginia.
UCF rounding it out at the bottom of the C tier. And then yikes, the second most crowded tier. Arizona Wildcats at the top of yikes. Houston, Utah, Oklahoma State, your bottom 3. Wow. What a tier list. Sharon says, I like this tier list. Good job. McKay says, good work, guys. I like the list.
Appreciate you.
Sharon, McKay, y'all know ball.
Wow, we got a dislike on that one.
Somebody thought that the tier list was so good that they had to bring us down a notch.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
Well,
I'll get a scoot away from you now that the frame's changed.
You want to get further away from me?
As far as humanly possible.
Well, before we get out of here, like we said at the start, we got college football game tonight, college football game tomorrow before the NFL playoffs. You got Notre Dame, Penn State. Who do you like?
I forget what I told Kyle.
Wow.
I was going back and forth. I'm going Notre Dame. Notre Dame 31-28. I forgot. I was really going back and forth.
Yeah.
I think.
Were you really?
I think it's going to be a close game. Yeah. I think it's going to be a 3-point game. I'm going. I know that James Franklin is fraudulent coach, but I think it's going to be a good game. I think Notre Dame wins by 3.
Yeah, no. Notre Dame, I've got them winning 28-24. I could see it being a blowout, though. Interested to see. Sounds like a bunch of Notre Dame players have the flu. So real interested to see how that impacts the team at all. Doesn't sound like it's any starters. Jeremiah Love, interested to see his health going into this game.
Flu game.
Riley Leonard, flu game. Here you go. What about Ohio State, Texas, Rubus?
Well, this one, I also forget who I picked.
No way.
I'm pretty sure I picked Ohio State.
Yeah, everybody's picking Ohio State.
Ohio State 34-24, a 10-point victory. I can't decide who I'm actually rooting for though. Because if Texas wins, if they blow out Ohio State, then we get some serious some serious bragging rights.
That's fair. GM Ben in the chat saying bump my frogs up a level or no more whiskey.
No fair. No fair.
That whiskey was
They're going to go through the whiskey because of all the snow up there.
I'm still
down there.
I'm still down there.
Yeah.
Down there?
I don't know.
Is it down there, Kyle?
It's east.
I know it's east, but is it southeast, east, northeast?
Kyle, Texas is east. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate that. Yeah, we're going to leave him there. We appreciate you, though, GM Ben.
I thought we were pretty nice.
I've got Ohio State also winning 38-24. I think Ohio State is just the better team. Ohio State, Notre Dame, you're going to see them in the championship. I feel very, very confident about that. But I guess we will see. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. That is going to do it for today's episode of the PHNX Sun Devil Show. We appreciate everybody watching live, listening on audio, or watching back. And if you're watching on TV, we appreciate you as well. Of course, the party always continues at gophnx.com.
Also, if you listen to this entire episode on audio, you are a freak and I love you. Thank you. That's awesome. That's some real commitment.
It is. And we appreciate everybody. If you enjoyed the content, give us a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You could follow Phoenix at Erik Ruby. That is Erik with a K. You can follow Captain Redbeard steering the ship as always at K Coop Sports. And we will see you guys on Saturday for an Arizona State Baylor post-game show. In the meantime, go Devils. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.